strip of mauve and navy shirts, mauve and navy shorts. And there's Klinsmann, Jurgen Klinsmann, World Cup winner, turning up for Spurs in that familiar 18 shirt he made his own with Germany. And the Spurs fans certainly making their voices heard at Hillsborough. So Spurs line up with Ian Walker in goal, wearing 13, 22 David Kerslake, 14 Stuart Nethercott, 23 Sol Campbell, 3 Justin Edinburgh, 5 Colin Calderwood, 8 Ilie Dumitrescu, 7 Nick Barmby, 9 Darren Anderton, 10 Teddy Sheringham and 18 Jurgen Klinsmann. Kevin Pressman in goal for Wednesday, wearing 13, Ian Taylor 4, Ian Nolan 3, Des Walker 17, Peter Atherton 2, Dan Petrescu 5, John Sheridan 11, Chris Bart-Williams 14, Andy Sinton 15, Mark Bright 10 and David Hurst 9. The close-up there you saw of Petrescu, the new Romanian signing for Wednesday. And Ian Nolan there, the Liverpudlian, £1.5 million from Tranmere Rovers earlier on. So much expectation for this new season for every club in the Premiership. The signing of Klinsmann and Petrescu and Dumitrescu, putting a whole new perspective of all the shenanigans that went on pre-season, all the concern about points being deducted and not being allowed to compete in the FA Cup. That is all forgotten now, though in the back of our minds we know that come the end of the season, Spurs will have 6 points deducted from their total. But at the moment, everything starts off even Steven. Spurs captained today by Teddy Sheringham. And Teddy, we know, is thrilled to bits to be acting captain, as it were. Des Walker and Teddy Sheringham meeting in the middle of the park. And as a tradition at Hillsborough, the mascots receive lovely commemorative medallions from the Sheffield Wednesday club. There's Klinsmann in that Tottenham shirt. Those who were not fortunate enough to get along to Watford or any of the other pre-season friendlies wouldn't have had a chance to see Jurgen. So maybe for the first time you're seeing the great German World Cup winner in a Tottenham shirt. The referee today, of course, is Brian Hill from Market Harborough. Once again, Kevin Pressman, the number 1 for Sheffield Wednesday, though he still wears the 13. The number 1 shirt still belongs to Chris Woods, but he's not even on the bench today. It is Lance Key. And there is Ilie Dumitrescu. Keepers shake hands, they cross over. Ian Walker wearing the new Spurs goalkeeping away kit. And the Tottenham fans are really making it heard as referee Hill is about to get this game underway. And Mark Bright gets Sheffield Wednesday away at the opening day of the 94-95 season in the Carling Premiership. live from Hillsborough. Spurs away to Sheffield Wednesday. And straight away, Bright, but it's cut out by Nethercott. From the penalty area, he hacks it forward. Ian Nolan. But here's Klinsmann's first touch. Lasing it wide for Darren Anderton. Anderton gets it away for Wednesday as they come out. John Sheridan, the former Leeds man. Ian Nolan gets the cross forward, it's come off and Nethercott can clear. Puts it into touch, throw into Sheffield Wednesday. And Andy Sinton's brought down a free kick for Sheffield Wednesday. Andy Sinton, the England international. Sheffield Wednesday brought from Queen's Park Rangers. Sinton's cross, no problem for Walker. Green and turquoise and purple and all colours that Ian Walker is wearing for his snazzy new kit. Sol Campbell, Walker can clear. And as one would expect, the home side are pushing forward in these early minutes. But Klinsmann lays it back for Barmby. Barmby's dispossessed. And Sinton chips it forward for Hurst. Bart Williams. Well, the home crowd certainly behind their team, the Spurs fans behind theirs, as Ian Walker prepares this goal kick. Sheringham. Nethercott's nod it forward. Spurs are in possession now. So the new centre-half pairing for Spurs, Nethercott and Sol Campbell, with Colin Caldwell sitting just in front. Looking for Sheringham, but it's cut out. Nethercott's back in possession. Dumitrescu picking it up from Edinburgh. And again. David Kerslake. Anderson puts the cross over, looking for Klinsmann. And Barmby just had the ball nicked away from him. What's the referee given? He seems to have blown up for something. And Brian Hill's given the free kick for Wednesday. Good midfield work for Spurs. Kevin Pressman is left-footed. And the foul given. Can't help thinking that what can be, the way that cross came over, Klinsmann was all ready to lay the ball off either to Barmby or to Sheringham. This is exciting stuff for Spurs, exciting times. Nolan gets the crossover, pulls to Bart Williams, and a good block tackle in. As Justin Edinburgh got the tackle in, Wednesday still have possession. Bart Williams again. With Sheringham. Dumitrescu wearing 8. Sol Campbell now. He finds Darren Anderton. Anderton hits it wide. No runner. It'll be a throw into Sheffield Wednesday, which Ian Nolan will take. Ian Nolan, £1.5 million the tribunal decided for his move from Tranmere Rovers recently. Nethercott finding touch. Nethercott really made a name for himself toward the end of last season. So much so that the Spurs club captain Gary Mabbott finds himself on the bench at the start of this 94-95 season. Klinsmann laying it off. Klinsmann can pick up that sloppy return. There's Jurgen Klinsmann. He's moving forward. He's looking round him. Barby was only able to put a slight touch on it. It runs through to Kevin Pressman, but we've seen what this German can do. David Hurst, the judge, to have leaning on Justin Edinburgh. It's a free kick to Spurs. David Hurst, who's been out of action for much of last season with injury, looking to get himself back into the England squad, no doubt. Walker. It's Ian Taylor, another new signing by Trevor Francis. Andy Sinton has a man outside him. He switches to his right, chips it forward, looking for Mark Bright. Campbell did brilliantly. And Dumitrescu. Some nice 1-2 stuff between Dumitrescu and Anderton. Anderton switches it now. Petrescu playing at right back for Wednesday. Bright lays it wide to Sinton. Sinton's looking for his options, chips it over, and Campbell again manages to dispossess Bart Williams, and Brian Hill has given the indirect free kick, arm raised in the air signifying it's indirect, responding to a flag from his linesman, which Nethercott very much appreciated and applauds. So Ian Walker in goal for Spurs today, and should he keep his place, he'll be facing his father's side, Everton, on Wednesday night at White Hart Lane. Right is wide to Bart Williams, the former Orient man. Good tackle from Edinburgh. And there's an offside flag up there. Petrescu was flagged offside. The Spurs come away. Dumitrescu, beat one, beat two, looks up, chips it wide to Shedding, who's free. Into Anderton. Anderton knocks it back. Dumitrescu again. Another chip forward, and oh, Barnby ever so close. Nick Barnby, after 9.5 minutes, closest to opening the scoring at Hillsborough this Saturday afternoon. Stuart Nethercott to Colin Calderwood. Anderton plays it forward at Atherton. He tries to play it forward, it comes off Sheringham, it'll be a throw into Sheffield Wednesday. Atherton, another new signing by Trevor Francis, just joined from Coventry. It's Nick Barmby for Spurs. Looking for Klinsmann, the ball's cut out. Another cut. There's a judge to have fouled as he went over the top with his head. It has to be said, Spurs looking particularly snazzy in this brand new change strip. Bart Williams, and again first finds Bart Williams, it runs through to Stuart Nethercott, who can play it safely back to Ian Walker. And Ian Nethercott gaining confidence all the time as we see him. Dumitrescu, David Kerslake. Justin Edinburgh. Barmby avoids one tackle, but ball nicked off him by John Sheridan. Pressman's forced to play it out quickly. Stuart Nethercott underneath it, but Ian Taylor. Nethercott chipping forward again, but once again it's cut out. Alderton. Sheridan looking for Mark Bright. Bart Williams. Hurst chips it forward, but that will be Ian Walker's. He gathers it safely. "12 minutes gone at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Spurs 0, but it's fair to say both managers will be very encouraged by the opening stages of this game from what they're seeing with their players. Colin Calderwood getting another chance after he missed most at the end of last season when Kevin Scott was brought, seemed to replace him. The home crowd trying to give Klinsmann the bird. Has little effect on the man. And Sol Campbell has little difficulty in breaking down that Sheffield Wednesday attack. David Hurst and Justin Edinburgh in close attention. Petrescu's throw in, finds Bart Williams. Petrescu again. Sheridan chips it forward for Bart Williams. Bart Williams turns, gets the crossover straight to Walker, no problem. David Hurst, who joined Wednesday in the beginning of season 86-87, £200,000 from Barnsley. Progressed through the England ranks from youth under 21 and the full squad. Colin Calder of the Spurs. Darren Anderton wins the throw in for Spurs. Kerslake's throw in. Looks for Klinsmann. Anderton. That'll be Kerslake's again. Calderwood has time to find Nethercott. Dumitrescu, Romanian. There's Bart Williams now for Wednesday. David Hurst is tackled by Dumitrescu. Free kick's been given under the new rules. Could this be a yellow card for Ilie Dumitrescu on his English debut? No, Brian Hill, a quiet word. Not that Dumitrescu understands any English at all. I think the referee's made his point. Petrescu looking for Taylor. There's Bart Williams. Sheridan would chip across, and that's a goal. Mark Bright. No, the referee's disallowed it for offside. And Mark Bright, who did so much damage to Spurs in both games, home and away last season, almost putting the home side ahead. But linesman and referee in accord, and a free kick's been given to Spurs. That goal attempt ruled out. And I think at the moment that ball was played, I think it's fair to say Bright had gained the advantage and was ahead of his man. Referee and linesman working well together. Stuart Nethercott for Spurs. Sheringham lays it off. Possession has been lost. Wednesday racing down the left. It's gone too far. That will be a goal kick for Spurs. No, it's played back by Sinton. Straight to Walker. Sol Campbell, who, having spent much of last season in the left-back position, in perhaps a more comfortable position of central defence. Dumitrescu finding Anderson wide on the right. Offside flag has gone up. Brian Hill, Market Harborough, pointing to where he wants the ball placed for this free kick for Sheffield Wednesday. Something is being carried off the field. I think it's a bird that's is stunned on the field. Peter Atherton's taken it to the touchline. And play continues. Nethercott, stout defending for Spurs. It's back with Ian Walker. Mark Bright was adjudged to have fouled there, and the free kick's been given for Spurs. Sheringham nods it on to Barnby. He has Anderson wide on the right. Anderson's cross, it's cut out by Sheridan. Calderwood playing it back to Nethercott. Bart Williams can bring it away for Sheffield Wednesday. He's got on the line of this. Taylor dispossessed brilliantly by Sol Campbell. Free kick taken quickly for Spurs. It's Darren Anderton, two men in attendance, but he gets the crossover. He's looking for Sheringham, and Sheringham's in the clear, and it's Sheringham, and it's there, and Spurs have scored. 18 minutes gone at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Spurs 1. Teddy Sheringham opening his account as the Spurs players gather round him. The first man to reach him was Klinsmann. Ejected Kevin Pressman on your screens. Seeded again, the cross came over it, totally eluded the defenders. Sheringham had time to even correct himself with the outside of his foot just inside the left-hand post of Kevin Pressman, and Spurs take the lead just a few seconds short of the 19th minute. Spurs fans and Spurs players are thinking, we are in business. From a Sheffield Wednesday point of view, they will be asking questions how that cross totally eluded the defender. It was Peter Atherton who went for it and didn't connect, basically. Left Sheringham completely in the clear. Free kick for Sheffield Wednesday. Ian Taylor, Bart Williams. The cross comes over, and Sheridan could do little more than get underneath it. The Irish international. Last season Spurs failed to score at Hillsborough, you may remember it. It's the bank holiday, Monday the 3rd of January. A crowd of 32,500 saw Mark Bright give Sheffield Wednesday a 5th-minute lead, which indeed was the only goal of the game. And Sinton winning a free kick. Anderton had judged to have nudged him. Indirect, says Brian Hill. And the former Brentford and Queen's Park Rangers man, Andy Sinton, an England international. Taylor's free kick, Naylor's free kick, and Nolan's free kick. Commentator's nightmare when 3 new players join the team in 1 week. Trevor Francis has spent quite a bit of time at tribunals recently. Ian Taylor, Ian Nolan and Peter Atherton all had their fees determined by tribunals. Klinsmann lays that off. There's Barmby. Barmby's got Sheridan with him. Kerslake chips it in. Anderson can reach it, but he still applauds the cross by David Kerslake. Ozzy Ardiles must be delighted with the way in which his 2 new foreign signings, record signing Ilie Dumitrescu, the most expensive signing in Spurs history of 2.6 million, why he and Jurgen Klinsmann have slotted in at this early stage, looking both comfortable to say the least. The 5,000 travelling Spurs fans are in good vice and in good heart. Mark Williams for Wednesday, looking up, finding Hurst. Falls to Sheridan. Sheridan has a poke. Again, Ian Walker is in the right place at the right time, comfortably gathered to his chest, and will slow it down. Klinsmann lays it back. That'll be Colin Calderwood. Justin Everett under a bit of pressure at Sheringham. Tries the return ball to Edinburgh. It's cut out. And Petrescu, judged to have been fouled, wins the free kick for Wednesday. Few departures from Sheffield Wednesday in a close season, particularly Nigel Worthington and Carlton Palmer, who both went to Leeds. Manager Trevor Francis no longer considers himself a player manager, therefore the number 26 number in the Sheffield Wednesday squads is currently vacant. He may have a change of heart knowing Trevor. So Anderson tries to get a cross in, blocked by Kerslake. It'll be a corner to Sheffield Wednesday. The 25th minute at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Chris Bart-Williams picks up the short corner. It's back to Sinton. Nolan again on his right foot, gets the cross over straight to Ian Walker on the edge of his 6-yard area. Calderwood. Sheringham Calderwood finding Dumitrescu. Ilie Dumitrescu coming forward, evades Bart-Williams, but he loses possession as Taylor can bring it away for Wednesday. Hurst plays it back to Petrescu. There's Walker. Picks out Andy Sinton. He's got a man overlapping. Decides to play it in, but Kerslake has it covered with no difficulty whatsoever. Plays the ball into touch to concede the throw-in. Spurs can bring that ball away from defence. There's Dumitrescu in space, cut out by his remaining teammate, but still with Spurs. Sheringham looking for Anton. It's gone to Pressman, who switches play. Remaining Petrescu. Chris Bart-Williams. Petrescu again, Fontana. They joined after a very successful World Cup. There's Walker. Atherton who hoists upfield, and the referee blows up on Stuart Nethercott for a foul on David Hurst. Much to the Spurs players' disgust. So it's Bart-Williams and Sheridan and Hurst all over the ball. Spurs have a four-man wall. And runs to Justin Edinburgh, back with Bart-Williams. Petrescu is a man on his outside, he brings it in on his left foot, plays it forward. It's again presents no difficulty to Ian Walker. He's growing in confidence and stature as the minutes tick by at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Spurs 1. 27.5 minutes gone in this first half. Colin Calder for Spurs takes it back from Nick Barmby. And Dumitrescu, fouled by Chris Bart-Williams, wins the free kick for Spurs. Anderson is back in it with David Kerslake. Anderson's run continues, takes it out to the right, and Atherton, new man from Coventry, born in Wigan, puts it into touch. Once he can come away, it's Ian Taylor. And Nethercott's interception. Spurs possession again. It's with Justin Edinburgh, who's brought down by Dan Petrescu, and that caught him just above the knee. Well, we were told that players can't be treated on the field, but both the physios are on. Sinton receiving treatment, as is Edinburgh. And Tony Lenigan, the Spurs physio, comes off having attended to Justin Edinburgh. And Wednesday have a new physio from last season. Alan Smith, nowadays the #1 physio for Terry Venables in the England setup. Dave Butler's his assistant. There's Dumitrescu. Stuart Nethercott plays it forward, looking to pick out Teddy Sheringham. It doesn't reach him, but Jurgen Klinsmann gets onto it. Sheringham, Anderton, and Darren Anderton, and it's there! Darren Anderton has made it 2 for Spurs. And on the half hour, Spurs get their second goal with Darren Anderton. And look at the Spurs fans behind that goal. You can see them on your screen. see it again. Anderton is through, evades the tackle. In fact, it was from nothing. The free kick was taken quickly. Error once again in the Sheffield Wednesday defence. And Anderton is through for his first goal of the season. Spurs' second of the season. Wednesday 0, Spurs 2 from Hillsborough. Half hour gone. And a free kick. Kerslake saying slow down. And great excitement among the Spurs fans at Hillsborough. Colin Calderwood coming forward. Jurgen Klinsmann has gone deep. Finds Dumitrescu on the left. It's avoided to Petrescu. Shaken off Bart Williams. Dumitrescu still in possession. Picks out Darren Anderton. Anderton on the edge of the area. Kerslake on the overlap. Kerslake chips it in. It's cut out by Atherton. That'll be a throw into Spurs. Spurs looking very exciting going forwards. Kerslake shimmies in, gets the crossover, looking for Sheringham. I think Sheringham was slightly nudged as he went for that. Petrescu, who played at Steaua București in Genoa and of course in the World Cup 1994 for Romania. Andy Sinton. Can you hear the Spurs fans singing, "Are you listening, Arsenal?" Colin Calderwood can bring it up for Spurs. He has time, he has space, and he finds Ilie Dumitrescu on the left. Des Walker gets the better of Nick Barmby but loses his boot in the process, and Jurgen Klinsmann returns it to him. Dumitrescu gets the crossover. It's eluded Ian Nolan. Teddy Sheringham on the ball. Kerslake. Anderton. Great movement for Spurs. Klinsmann back heels it, and it's still with Sheringham. And even though he loses it, David Kerslake picks it up. Darren Anderton. Spurs playing possession football that Spurs fans love over the decades. Spurs fans chanting Ole with every touch. Sol Campbell, Nethercott, Calderwood, Kerslake. When was the last time a Sheffield Wednesday man touched the ball? I reckon that's the 14th pass to Nick Barmby. It's back to Nethercott. And Spurs put it back to Walker, almost taking the mickey. But it's a sloppy one from Walker. He's put it straight to Bright. The Spurs still manage to nick it back off Mark Bright, and Sol Campbell can hoof it upfield. Falls to Petrescu. Petrescu to Hurst. Hurst is cutting in, plays it wide out to Sinton. He's not able to keep possession. It will be a throw into Spurs, which David Kerslake will take with almost 35 minutes on the clock. Anderton's dispossessed, he was clipped, wins the free kick. Darren Anderton, who recently celebrated his 22nd birthday. England international, we can say now, but Bart Williams tries to move forward. It's nicked away from him. Campbell will play it back to Ian Walker. Walker about to be pressured. He looked up, found Klinsmann. Sheffield Wednesday regained possession, and the ball's back with goalkeeper Kevin Pressman. For so long lived in the shadow of Martin Hodge and latterly Chris Woods, but made the goalkeeping position his own last season. Turned pro for Wednesday in '85, November of '85. Des Walker finds Chris Bart-Williams. There's Dan Petrescu with Nick Barmby chasing back. Petrescu's cross comes over. That's Anderson who pulled the ball down. Sinton's clear. He doesn't collect it properly. He plays it back to Taylor. Taylor out wide. Is the danger and over? Not yet. Sinton again chips it forward. Sol Campbell can cut it out. Bit of misunderstanding there. Calderwood almost caught Sol Campbell on the knee as he went for the ball. That's going to touch a throw-in for Wednesday, taken quickly by Chris Bart-Williams. Finds John Sheridan, he's chipped it forward looking for a man, and it's gone straight to Ian Walker, who will slow this down, telling his colleagues to calm it, yelling instructions. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Spurs 2, 36.5 minutes played at Hillsborough. Ilie Dumitrescu just in Edinburgh looking for Klinsmann. It's gone too far, and that'll be nodded back to Kevin Pressman by Ian Nolan. Nethercott finds its way back to Walker from Kerslake. Played forward, Sheringham nods it forward, was pushed in the process. That will be a free kick to Spurs. Brian Hill on the spot. It was Atherton who gave the little push. It's a couple of inches, an inch or so shorter than Teddy Sheringham. Colin Calderwood looking for Dumitrescu, but that'll be a throw-in to Wednesday, which Chris Bart-Williams will take. David Hurst is judged to have put that behind for a goal kick. The home crowd didn't think it, but it was clear for all of us to see. That'll be a goal kick for Spurs. So Spurs have 2 home games to come this week, or this next week. Everton on Wednesday night, Manchester United, the Premiership champions, next Saturday. Spurs maintain possession though. Barmby's dispossessed. That's Andy Sinton. Back to Pressman, and Edinburgh prevents Bart-Williams lashing onto that. But Des Walker finds Dan Petrescu wide on the right. And Dumitrescu has Walker in front of him. His little shimmies in the area. Walker forced to concede the corner. And is Anderson coming over to take it, or is it Ilie Dumitrescu? It is Ilie, a new man to take corners wide on the left wing for Spurs. Maybe. Plays it short to Anderson, he has it back again. And Nethercott, who's brought down. I can tell you that Sheffield Wednesday fans have cards, large cards with 5.9 on, aimed at intimidating Klinsmann. It was Nethercott who went down then. Nick Barmby gets to cross over, doesn't, because Atherton puts it behind for the corner, which Barmby will take quickly. In fact, chooses to leave it to Darren Anderson. Barmby collects the short corners back with Anderson. Anderson finds Calderwood. Calderwood looks up, chips it over, seeking out Sheringham. It was too short, but Sol Campbell's on the end of it and has a speculative shot from outside the area, and it wasn't that far wide. 40 minutes played. First half, Hillsborough, the first day of the new Premiership season. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Spurs 2 as Kevin Pressman takes the goal kick. Nethercott's under it. Sheringham loses bearings. Spurs have possession again. Sheringham off his chest. It's picked up by Petrescu. Walker plays it forward. And Sol Campbell has the legs of Mark Bright. And the 30-year-old didn't have as much to offer in terms of speed to the 20-year-old. And Sheringham, Klinsmann makes a diagonal run in front of him. Atherton's gone to pick up Klinsmann as Kerslake comes forward. Calderwood. Sheringham was robbed there by Taylor. Sinton on his outside. Sinton makes the break. There's Hurst inside him. Goes further. Calderwood's got a foot on that. It lands in Ian Walker's arms. Anderson keeps it in. Des Walker is forced to play it back to Pressman, who slices it, but still finds Bart Williams, who nods it on. Bright, Bart Williams has it back. It's now with Petrescu, and Walker, and Sheridan, and Taylor. Right to Ian Nolan. Nolan chips it across, looking for his man, Bart Williams, but Sol Campbell nods it away, and Dumitrescu can bring it out for Spurs. He's past John Sheridan with no effort at all, and finds Teddy Sheringham wide on the right. Sheringham plays it inside Atherton, but there was no runner onto it, not the best of crosses. Wednesday regain possession. Nethercott gets his head underneath that, and it goes into touch. 2 minutes to half-time at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Spurs 2. Bart Williams finds Sheridan, who finds Sinton wide out to Ian Nolan. It was David Hurst who slipped, and Kerslake can bring the ball away. It's back with Wednesday as they try to push forward in this last minute or so of the first half. Petrescu looking for Hurst, who gets his head on it. Ian Walker equal to it. Presents little difficulty to Walker in the Spurs goal. Ian Walker, 22 years of age, born in Watford. England under-21 international, of course. Nick Barmby battling in the midfield. Des Walker eludes Jurgen Klinsmann. And Chris Bart Williams played forward. There's nobody there for Wednesday, or is there? Ian Walker can allow that to run into touch. It's run behind the goal line, I should say. And the goal kick taken quickly. Colin Calderwood finding David Kerslake for Spurs. Barmby's the runner, but it's a bit too strong for Nick Barmby. It's played back by Wednesday to their goalkeeper. Pressman hoofs it forward. Bright nods it on. Sheridan loses it, and Spurs regain possession, put it into touch. And we're just about to go into injury time that Brian Hill will add on for stoppages. And there was a stoppage when both physios were on a short while ago. Nolan's cross, and Walker equal to it. Comes out between the defender and attacker. You may catch that on your screens, that close-up where he points to his wrist, saying to referee, time. We are 30 seconds into stoppage time at the end of this first half. Jurgen Klinsmann underneath that. Sheridan tries to bring that away. Andy Sinton picks it up. He has Nolan on his outside. Feeds it to Mark Bright. Bright to Nolan. Bart Williams with Barnby close in attendance. Sheridan. Bart Williams is dispossessed. David Kerslake. Atherton plays a long ball forward. Bart Williams is on the end of it. He's got space, he gets the crossover. Sol Campbell heads that away. Bart Williams has another go. Played back from Nolan. Bart Williams again. And Ian Walker again. A little pressure on him. Gathers the ball. And that is it. The whistle goes at half-time at Hillsborough, with Ozzy Ardiles' Spurs going in 2 goals to the good. Darren Anderson, who scored the second on 30 minutes. Teddy Sheringham, who put Spurs in the lead on 19 minutes. And an exciting and encouraging start to the new Premiership season for Spurs and Ozzy Ardiles. Half-time at Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Tottenham Hotspur 2.
By 2 goals to 0. Just to let you know that if you've been unable to get a ticket for the big game at White Hart Lane next Saturday, Spurs versus Manchester United, you can see that game on the giant screens at White's Club. Tickets are priced at £13 for non-members and £6.50 for junior non-members, and that price is inclusive of a temporary match day ticket. Temporary match day membership. So White's the place to be if you haven't got a ticket for the home game against Manchester United next Saturday. Big smiles on the faces of Teddy Sheringham and Jurgen Klinsmann. And Teddy, the Spurs captain today, calling for encouragement from his colleagues and the fans. And Brian Hill gets the second half underway at Hillsborough, where Spurs restart with a 2-goal advantage over Sheffield Wednesday. Ball is played back to Kevin Pressman, wearing 13 in the goal for Wednesday. Stuart Nethercock wins it for Spurs. Darren Anderson, but John Sheridan nicks it away. Chris Bart Williams wide on the right. Ian Nolan on the ball for Sheffield Wednesday with Darren Anderson in front of him. It's played for Mark Bright. It's back to Andy Sinton. Sinton on his right foot gets the crossover. Sol Campbell's under that. And John Sheridan loses it completely, and Ilie Dumitrescu can bring that away. Ian Taylor got a tackle in and came off worst. And it looks serious, and Brian Hill stopped the play. He's holding his left knee. It's Ian Taylor. Ilie Dumitrescu again caught on the ankle. Tony Lennigan attending to him. In spite of what we were told about players not being able to receive treatment on the pitch, the physio's doing their stuff. Dumitrescu's up, hobbles away a bit gingerly. But he's given the nod that he'll be okay. Ian Taylor, the former Port Vale player, Birmingham born, cost Trevor Francis 1.3 million after a tribunal decided on the price. And a shake of the hands between Taylor and Dumitrescu, which is refreshing to see. It'll be a drop ball, and Teddy Sheringham is given a free rein just to give it back to Wednesday. Atherton gives it back to Presman. Presman's out of his area. Long one, looking for Hurst, but Nethercock nods it forward. And that'll be a throw in to the Owls. Darren Anderson delighted to get on the score sheet this afternoon. And Nick Barnby, but he's lost it to Bart Williams. Bart Williams is being converged upon. Referees allowed play to go on. Sol Campbell. And this time the referee has blown up. And it's John Sheridan alleged to have committed a foul. Foul on Sheringham, whereas Dan Petrescu is at the bottom of all that and he hobbles away. So the ball is played forward. Atherton gets underneath it for Wednesday. And there's a certain determination about how Sheffield Wednesday started the second half. Understandably so. Trevor Francis will not be pleased with his side's first half performance. That just goes away for a goal kick. It's fair to say, I think, that Sheffield Wednesday certainly looked dangerous down the left-hand side in the first half. Couldn't turn it to their advantage, but at the back, two defensive errors, as Francis will see it, is what cost his side the 2 goals from Sheringham after 19 minutes, Anderson after 30. Ozzy Ardiles, minus his baseball cap today, as always on his feet, just in front of the dugout. Colin Calderwood nods it forward. Once again, Petrescu can pick it up for Wednesday. Finds Mark Bright, Wednesday's top scorer of last season with 23 goals. Bart Williams, it's an early cross in. Ian Walker read it. Was ahead of Mark Bright. And that ball neatly stuck to those goalkeeping gloves. Klinsmann was out-leaped on that occasion. John Sheridan for Wednesday. Looking to his left, finds Sinton. Sinton has Kerslake in front of him. Kerslake trying to force it onto his left foot, his weaker foot. And indeed, the cross is behind the goal line. David Kerslake did really well there. We've seen throughout the first half that Sinton preferred to switch the ball to his right for crosses. Kerslake knew this and forced it onto Sinton's left, which gave little danger to Spurs. And Atherton manages to prevent Klinsmann getting to the ball, but Klinsmann wins the throw in, plays it quickly. Anderson plays it forward. It's out for Klinsmann, gets the cross over, it eludes all the defenders. There's Walker. And Dan Petrescu get the ball away. It's Chris Bart Williams for Wednesday. Mark Bright tries to turn Nethercock. Nethercock gets the better. It runs to Sinton. Sinton's on the ball. Plays it, rolls it out to Nolan. Nolan finds Sinton again. Sinton on his left, and again. Was that? Did Walker push that over, or had it already gone over? Walker says it had already gone over. Referee says otherwise. That ball was dipping. It possibly would have hit the bar had and Walker not gone for it. And the corner's been given, which Chris Bart-Williams will take. Takes it short. Back with Bart-Williams onto his left. Just deep crossover. Nolan switches, turns inside Nethercott. Slightly skews his goalward attempt. That'll be another goal kick for Spurs. Ian Walker. Sheringham's underneath that, it runs off of him. Wednesday back in possession with David Hurst with Nethercott in front of him. Hurst switches. Sheringham gets the tackle in, but Hurst still has possession. David Hurst will lose Nethercott. It's run too far. That will be a corner. In the 54th minute, Bart-Williams from the left-hand wing for Wednesday takes it with his right foot. Campbell nods it forward. And that's it, it's there. And it's Dan Petrescu who scored on his debut for Sheffield Wednesday. .53.5 minutes on the clock. Petrescu, the new signing from Romanian football for Trevor Francis, has pulled one back. And there will be questions asked of the Spurs defence. We'll see it again now. So many Spurs defenders, they were trying to come out to play the offside. And under the old rules, it could be argued that Mark Bright was in an offside position. They've been looking to get back into this game of Wednesday, and maybe that will give them some heart. That said, it will surely make Spurs even more determined to maintain their advantage and perhaps increase it. Nethercott with Sinton in the middle of the park now, switching it wide. Petrescu again. Bright lays it back. Spurs can clear it, it's gone into touch. And the Wednesday fans starting to make better noise now. Nolan takes a quick free, the throw into Taylor. Nolan again. But Darren Anderson gets the tackle in, there'll be another throw. Nolan takes a long throw, Nethercott will get that away, which he does. He runs to Taylor, Taylor's through. He slips over, Spurs can gather themselves and clear the ball, which Darren Anderson puts it into touch in the... So throwing inside Sheffield Wednesday's half of the field. Quickly taken by Nolan. Long throw which Nethercott forces out. Pressure coming from Sheffield Wednesday. Nolan's long throw again. Nethercott heads that clear. Sheridan wide to Nolan. Mark Bright heads it on, but it runs to Spurs. Spurs flick out of the ball. It runs once again to Sheffield Wednesday. Sheridan wide on his right, playing Des Walker in. Bart-Williams. Petrescu inside the Spurs area. Walker again. Nethercott clears. It runs to Nolan. Looks for Taylor. Taylor cleverly plays it to Sinton, gets across it over. As Hurst goes in on that, Sol Cameron it was, who beat Hurst to it to put the ball away for a corner. Past Ian Walker's right hand post. Hands on hips in the Spurs defence. Filling the lungs. corner. Campbell nods it out. Sheridan takes it from all of 40 yards straight to Ian Walker. Slow it down somewhat. Klinsmann unable to latch onto that one. It's back with Wednesday. Nolan with Colin Cordell picks the ball up. As Anderson wide. Anderson wins the throw in. Will be taken by Sheringham, and he's going to leave it. And another throw in, won by Spurs. Referees this season are going to be very hot on throw-ins being taken at the right place, and could be argued that Teddy Sheringham tried to nick a yard or two. Anderton's got through. And at a corner. It is a corner. It's been won by Darren Anderton off Ian Taylor, and enables Spurs to put a little bit of pressure on at the other end of the park now. 13.5 minutes gone in the second half. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Spurs 2. As Darren Anderton gives the signal. Looking for Nethercott. It's run to Calderwood. Calderwood dinks it forward. Barnby looking for it. Nethercott nods it forward. It's Bart Williams who can head it out to Petrescu. And so Campbell has dispossessed Dan Petrescu. And the referee says unfairly. Brian Hill gives a free kick to the Owls. Steve Perryman and Ozzy Ardiles exhorting Spurs on. It's been a scrappy second half so far for Spurs, one has to say. But Barnby chips it forward, looking for Klinsmann. Atherton can hoof that out. Nodded on by Bright. Finds Hurst, but Spurs got the ball picked up by Spurs. It's Justin Edinburgh. And another free kick awarded against Teddy Sheringham this time. Sheringham with a lucky charm around his right wrist. Sheridan finds Ian Taylor. David Hurst goes for the return as Taylor. Justin Edinburgh's aware of it and covers it and play it out. Off of Teddy Sheringham's chest. And it's Dumitrescu now for Spurs. Finds Klinsmann. It's gone wide to Kerslake. Dumitrescu's making a run to his wide's right. It's played across, looking. No, it's looking for Barnby, who was running on, but it was headed away by Petrescu for a corner for Spurs. It was a lovely sweeping move from Spurs, it has to be said. Exciting stuff to watch, the kind of football that Spurs fans have been brought up over the decades. Cross comes in from the Spurs left wing. Sheringham climbs for it. It's fallen to Dumitrescu, who's lost possession. It's spun away from him. Sheridan brings it out for Sheffield Wednesday. Andy Sinton. Andy Sinton tries to go outside of Kerslake, and he pulls Kerslake down. That's got to be a foul, and it could well be a yellow card. A number of people have been saying in this last 15 minutes or so how David Kerslake, this game has picked up in the second half. Perhaps he's been advised as to how he should play Sinton in this half. Gary Mabbott and Mickey Hazard on the bench for Spurs alongside Chris Day. Wednesday have Simon Coleman and Gordon Watson alongside keeper Lance Key. Teddy Sheringham for Spurs. With Justin Edinburgh wide on the left. Dumitrescu switches it for Kerslake to run onto on the right. Kerslake cuts in, he's avoided one, and Wasn't sure if that was an attempt on goal or an intended cross for Nick Barmby. Either way, it's a goal kick for Sheffield Wednesday. And Sol Campbell gets onto that, but it's runs for a throw-in to Sheffield Wednesday. There's 34,000 here today at Hillsborough. In fact, 34,051 will be given as the official attendance. 1,500 or so more than saw the corresponding game last January. Sheringham for Spurs in the centre circle. Looks like Barmby made a run, but it's Kerslake. What we didn't see on our monitor screens, what you didn't see, was the space that Dumitrescu ran into. Klinsmann gaining possession is Klinsmann, and Brian Hill's blown up to something or other. And the handball that's been given, Jurgen indicates that it was his shoulder and not his arm. Students of the European game first saw Jurgen Klinsmann in 81 for Stuttgart. In 94, he's at Tottenham. Adderton puts it back to Cressman, who clears it upfield towards Mark Bright. It comes off Bright. He didn't gather it properly, and it's gone straight into touch for a throw-in. In spite of all of the indications we've heard, it's delighted to see that one of England's top referees, Brian Hill, has not yet brandished a yellow card, certainly not a red one. I'm sure on this first day of the new Premiership season, at other grounds, in other matches, there have been cards galore, yellow and indeed red. David Kerslake to take the throw-in for Spurs. It's back with Wednesday with Andy Sinton. Interchanging with John Sheridan, who chips it forwards for a runner to go on to, but Walker to the edge of his area can gather. Sol Campbell for Spurs. It's gone straight to a Sheffield Wednesday man. They can start another move with Bart Williams just inside the area. Bart Williams again, and it's there. And Wednesday have equalised. 65 minutes on the clock. Sol Campbell tried to get the tackle in, he hit the deck. Bart Williams is in the clear, and he's shot straight past Ian Walker to make the score. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Spurs 2. See it again now. Bart Williams got into the area. Campbell lost his balance. He went down. The ball was flicked back to him by Bright. And Bart Williams, the young man from Sierra Leone, put it past Ian Walker. And the home supporters certainly now making one heck of a lot of noise at Hillsborough. Petrescu wide to the goal scorer Bart Williams. Dan Petrescu. There are some of my colleagues in the press box at Hillsborough who are suggesting that was an own goal. From my view, I would give that one to Bart Williams. You can see on your screens Trevor Francis And on his right, Richie Barker, his assistant manager at Sheffield Wednesday. Trevor Francis, Britain's first £1 million footballer. When he left Birmingham City for Nottingham Forest. And Ryan Hill will not allow that free kick to be taken there. The foul was committed inside the centre circle. Once again, I reiterate what I've said. A number of my press colleagues are giving that second Sheffield Wednesday goal to a Colin Calderwood own goal. Perhaps we'll get a chance to see another replay. Jurgen Klinsmann for Spurs. Plays it forward, looking for Anderton. It's cut out. Des Walker hoofs it forward. And Mark Bright wins the free kick. Stuart Nethercott alleged to have pushed. Mark Bright, of course, teammate of Gary Lineker's back in their Leicester City days. Alan Smith was there as well at that time. First Wednesday again. Taylor having a hopeful shot. It came off the Spurs man. It's wide to Bart Williams. Cross comes over. Walker gathers it. Well, with 2 goals up, Spurs have it all to do now to regain the advantage. Back to Sheridan. Nethercott puts it into touch. Sol Campbell's definitely in trouble. And Ozzy Aldila's looking anxious. He has the option of bringing on Gary Mabbutt. Gary Mabbutt, you can see on your screens there. In fact, Mabbutt is stripping off. And there's another shot from just outside the area, over the bar. Chris Bart Williams, that man again. Sol Campbell carrying the injury. Perhaps it occurred when he went down just ahead of Sheffield Wednesday's goal. And indeed, Roy Rayland, the Spurs kit man, is holding up the 23 card. The linesman trying to gather Brian Hill's attention. And Sol Campbell comes off as Gary Mabbutt, the Spurs club captain, is about to make his entrance. Today making his 521st appearance for Tottenham Hotspur. So off goes Sol Campbell, on comes Mabsy. It's a straight swap, defender for defender. And although he may not have the band on, there's no doubting. Look at him there, look at him there. There's no doubt who is that captain on the field now. And Sheringham nods it forward for Barmby. Barmby's got a run, he's got an option. Barmby chips it and it's there! And Nick Barmby's restored Spurs leads. What a lovely goal for Spurs. The 71st minute, and Nick Barmby puts it past Pressman's right hand into the far post, and Spurs have regained their lead. See it again, Barmby was given a clear run, one-on-one. Des Walker went one way, and Barmby, no mistake. He had the option of playing in Klinsmann, but Nick Barmby decided, I'm going for goal, and he did. And it's Wednesday 2, Spurs 3 at Hillsborough. Trevor Francis once again is going to have to ask his defenders where they were, but Spurs fans won't be too bothered about that. And it's Wednesday again. The cross comes over, looking for David Hurst, but it's put behind for the corner. Stuart Nethercott and Gary Mabbutt, a central defensive partnership now. Bart Williams' corner. Calderwood nods it. Clear, but he was pushed, and that will be a free kick to Spurs. And Mark Bright with a crucial haircut. Formerly with Port Vale and Leicester City and Crystal Palace. He came to Wednesday from Palace in September of '92. 32 years of age, Mark Bright. Atherton gets underneath that, but it's Spurs in possession once again. Barnby inside the area, gets across. Klinsmann! And it's saved by Pressman. It was a lovely move from Spurs. It finished with Klinsmann in a goal scoring opportunity. The keeper did well. Klinsmann could be forgiven for thinking he scored his first goal for Spurs then. Klinsmann plays it back. It's Barnby. He's looking round him. Klinsmann finds Sheringham with Kerslake pushing forward. Kerslake goes to the 1-2 with Barnby. Kerslake gets the crossover. It's nodded out by Walker and Taylor. Being pressured by Anderton. Anderton wins it back for Spurs. Kerslake and Klinsmann comes in on it, but it's wide of Pressman's left-hand post. Klinsmann has a smile on his face, almost from ear to ear. He is enjoying this. It worries him not that he's not on the score sheet at this time. 3 goals to the good. As far as Spurs are concerned, Sheringham, Anderton, Barnby. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Spurs 3 at Hillsborough. The opening day of the 94-95 Carling Premiership season. Sinton playing it forward for Mark Bright. It's forced out by Spurs. But John Sheridan picks it up again for Wednesday. Des Walker moving forward. Bart Williams back to his captain, Des Walker, former Nottingham Forest man. The man whose own goal won Spurs the 1991 Cup final. And in your picture, the man who held the cup aloft on that day, Gary Mabbott. Indirect free kick being signalled by Brian Hill. It was for obstruction by Teddy Sheringham. Sheridan takes it quickly. It's nodded forward, but that's safe for Kerslake to play out. And Darren Anderson, judged to have fouled Ian Nolan. Nolan will take it. Right-footed, chipping it forward, aiming it at Bright, who's gone down. Dan Petrescu with his left foot gets the crossover, looking for Mark Bright. Bright nods it forward. Chris Bart Williams plays it back for Ian Taylor. And it's wide of Ian Walker's right-hand post. And Ian Taylor, the new signing, 26-year-old from Port Vale, causes damage only to an advertising hoarding and not to Ian Walker's net. Sheffield Wednesday fans rise as Mark Bright comes off to be replaced by Gordon Watson. Born in Sidcup, played formerly for Charlton Athletic, joined Wednesday in 1991. And Ilie Dumitrescu, who's been looking a bit tired the last few minutes, is going to come off. Mickey Hazard to replace him. So Dumitrescu giving away to the Spurs fans the newly named Presto stand, of course formerly the infamous Lepping Lanes end where the tragedy occurred here in that dreadful semi-final of the FA Cup a few years ago. So it's Mickey Hazard in the midfield for Spurs, who's been so looking forward to the start of the new season as Mickey. And have the Spurs fans noticed that Mickey Hazard, as always, favouring the long sleeve shirt, and he has a long sleeve version of the new Spurs change strip. Everyone else in the short sleeve version. There's Hazard on the ball, long sleeves and all. Looks for Klinsmann, it's too strong, and Des Walker will play that back to Kevin Pressman. 32 minutes of the second half played. Spurs leading Sheffield Wednesday by 3-2 at Hillsborough. Sinton eludes Sheringham and eludes Hazard. Finds Taylor. Stuart Nethercott plays it out for Spurs, but Spurs lucky to regain possession. So who are going to be the sides to watch this season in the Premiership? Some say Man United, some say Arsenal, some say Liverpool. Spurs fans today will be saying Tottenham, Tottenham. Gary Mabbott is central defence partnership, Stuart Nethercott. Darren Anderson plays Kerslake back in. Walker will get in there first. Ball quickly returned by Steve Perryman for Spurs to take a quick throw in. Back with Kerslake. Finds Mickey Hazard, switches it wide to Justin Edinburgh. Edinburgh attacks Bart Williams but lays it back to Hazard. Hazard back heels it to Edinburgh. Edinburgh chance to switch it to his right foot, chips the crossover, finds Sheringham. Sheringham looks for Klinsmann, but it's cleared. Atherton clears it for Wednesday, finds Bart Williams as Edinburgh slips over. It's Petrescu, the Romanian. Mabbott plays that into touch. It's an advertising hoarding. And Atherton, yet another of Francis's new signings, takes the throw in. Chris Foyle ball from Bart Williams finds Ian Nolan on the left. Ian Nolan looking for Gordon Watson, blonde-haired, strong man. And Sheringham dispossesses, right back on his goal line, plays it back to Walker, who has to play it up first time, finds Klinsmann, and Klinsmann to Barmby. Barmby is fouled, but referee plays the advantage. And now it's run back to Wednesday. Watson with Sheringham, Petrescu with Hazard in attendance, with Taylor breaks forward. The cross comes over from Bart Williams. Hurst is looking for it. Sinton, Sheridan looking for Hurst again. Hurst turns and Nethercott gets his foot in. That will be a corner. A good saving tackle from Stuart Nethercott, the 21-year-old defender from Chadwell Heath. In fact, the referee has given the goal kick. Must have come off David Hurst. Ian Walker. Klinsmann nods it forward. Whistle goes and Spurs win the free kick for the foul on Jurgen Klinsmann. Number 18 on his shirt, his name across the back. How many reproductions have we seen along Tottenham High Roads and the surrounding areas in the last couple of weeks? Mickey Hazard. Colin Calderwood breaks forward. All the Spurs players to certainly take the mickey out of the home supporters. One thinks that was rehearsed, but Spurs get their fourth goal and Jurgen Klinsmann is on the score sheet. 82nd minute on the clock here at Hillsborough. Look at that, a diving header. But all points must be given to Darren Anderson, who did so well to set up that opportunity for Jurgen Klinsmann. And the Spurs fans, and I guess the management, will be delighted to see the German already potted his first goal for Spurs, first of many, one hopes. Gary Mabbott in control in defence of Spurs, wins the free kick, which Ian Walker will take. So with About 7.5 minutes left on the clock. Spurs lead Sheffield Wednesday by 4 goals to 2 at Hillsborough. And if they win them, Spurs will have 3 points today. The 6-point deduction that Spurs have had imposed on them come off at the end of the season. There'll be no minus situations for Spurs this season. And there's a goal pulled back by Wednesday, much to the disgust of the Spurs defence. And it was David Hurst with an absolute cracker, one has to say. Cross came over, nodded back by Ian Taylor, and on the volley, on the full, just on the edge of the area, David Hurst scores an absolute cracker. The 83rd minute. Well, 7 goals we've seen at Hillsborough this afternoon. Still another 6.5 minutes to go. And Klinsmann is down, having been... It's been a bad clash of heads. There's blood pouring from Jurgen Klinsmann's head and indeed his mouth. This looks very serious. They're calling for a stretcher. Jurgen Klinsmann looks as if he has lost consciousness. It's a very nasty, nasty accident. Doctors are on, ambulance men are on. Roy Raylanders has told Colin Calderwood to seek instruction. Jurgen Klinsmann looked to me to be unconscious. There was blood coming either from the side of his hands or from his mouth. He's being helped onto a stretcher. One hates to say it, but it looks very, very nasty. He's being given oxygen. His eyes are open, he is conscious, and he is inhaling oxygen. It was an accidental clash, one has to say. And you can see on your screens through the massive legs, blood around the mouth of Jurgen Klinsmann. After all the ballyhoo of the first game in the English League for the German international World Cup winner Jurgen Klinsmann, it ends for him in the 86th minute as he is stretchered off. He is fully conscious. We'll see this again as Des Walker went up for that ball. There was a clash of heads. Brian Hill reached Ossian. Whilst all that went on, Des Walker has had his head plastered, which proves it was heads and no suspicion of elbows. Spurs with 10 men now. 3.5 minutes left on the clock, plus the time that Brian Hill will add on for that stoppage, of course. Spurs leading by 4 goals to 3. Walker being booed by the Spurs fans, and that's not really very fair. It was an accident. Bart Williams plays it forward. Mabbott yanks it away. Sheridan plays it forward. And Walker gets out, punches it into touch, just to make sure it was nicked away from Gordon Watson. Watson gets the crossover, looking for Taylor. Taylor's under it, but heads over the bar. much to his frustration. My watch says 2 3/4 minutes to go. Ian Walker's goal kick goes straight to Dan Petrescu. Finds John Sheridan in the centre of the park. He'll switch to the left to Ian Nolan. Sintum has Anderton shadowing, plays it back to Atherton. Des Walker in the centre circle. Petrescu. Atherton for Wednesday coming forward. Chips it forward. Bart Williams goes for the 1-2. Just let it go. Petrescu has it. And Bart Williams clear through with Walker. Walker is out and gathers it brilliantly. And 4 points to Ian Walker. And he was found, when he was required to do his best, he was able to do it. The Spurs, who finished last season in 15th in the Premiership, Wednesday in 7th. Spurs starting this, or ending this first game of the season with Sol Campbell injured, Jurgen Klinsmann injured, and playing out time with 10 men, 4-3 ahead. David Kerslake whacks that into, not even into touch, it doesn't go, but Mickey Hazard gathers it and he finds touch. Throw-in to be taken by Des Walker. Des Walker, as a kid, of course, Spurs fan, always enjoys being back at White Hart Lane. Great friend of the Spurs players as well, many of them. Pressman out of his area to play it forward. Half a minute left of normal time. Anderton, Kerslake taking advantage of his interception. Back to Calderwood. That would be a throw into Spurs, which Spurs will be in no hurry to take. David Kerslake takes the throw to Darren Anderton. Shields it, plays it back to Kerslake. Kerslake inside to Barmby. Barmby plays it wide and far to Justin Edinburgh out on the left. Sheringham plays it back to Mickey Hazard. Hazard all the way back to Ian Walker. Walker's outside of his area. Finds Nethercott. Nethercott back to Walker. Bashed it away, but it's gone straight to Dan Petrescu. Petrescu, a long one forward, looking for Gordon Watson. Nethercott's underneath it. Gets his head to it. Justin Edinburgh picks up the ball. Turns. Plays it forward. And Anderton dispossessing Taylor. Anderson brings it up for Spurs. We're in stoppage time. He's got Barmby inside him. But Darren Anderson turns back. He plays a crossfield ball. It's gone straight to Taylor. Come off Taylor's foot. And Sinton can come forward. Number 15 on his back. Petrescu. Sliding tackle. Barmby. Nope, it doesn't win it. Taylor still has it. He's still with Wednesday. Atherton wide to Nolan. Over a minute extra played. Nolan on the left for Wednesday. Right-footed cross straight to Ian Walker's arms. Spurs fans behind Ian Walker's goal give a mighty cheer of relief. And Brian Hill looking at his watch. Stuart Nethercott nods it forward. Bit of head tennis with Des Walker. Nethercott again. This time it's to feet. And it's John Sheridan for Wednesday with Chris Bart Williams on his outside. Bart Williams puts a deep cross in. So deep it's straight over Ian Walker's bar into the crowd behind the goal. It'll be a goal kick and time to use up for Spurs. Ozzy Aldida's pondering the outcome of this game. Sweet and sour injuries for Ozzy Ardiles, but 4-3 ahead. 2.5 minutes of stoppage time having been played by Brian Hill. Stuart Nethercott puts it into touch, and the throw-in taken quickly by Ian Nolan. John Sheridan switches it to Bart Williams. Bart Williams inside, there's a 1-2 with Petrescu. Bart Williams again, Hazard tries to close him down, and the cross comes in, but Ian Walker's equal to it. Over 3 minutes time of extra time played, stoppage time being played. And Spurs still have possession with Teddy Sheringham, but that is it. Brian Hill's blown the whistle, and the opening day of the 94-95 Carling Premiership ends at Hillsborough with the final score of Tottenham Hotspur.